Hey, Mo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo. Came up from the struggle, now we stacking chips. Black Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich. Donnie Glover Show, watch her shift the switch. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle when the room was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Talking black excellence, ain't no exclusivity. History in making, reclaiming our divinity. Break by break, rebuilding our community. Donnie Glover Show, celebrate unity. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the room was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds running, new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we are brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the
we have some stars in the building.
Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Oh yo, oh yo, oh yo.
We'd like to welcome you to BMoreNews.com. I'd like to wish you the top of the morning. We're here with a very special friend, Mr. Renny Bass. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How you feeling, Mr. Glover?
I'm doing good. Can you close your shades? The daylight.
Actually, I can't.
You can't? Okay.
Too much light?
Well, it's never too much light. That's what you always told me. You never had too much light. How are you today, Brother Renny? Oh, that's good. Right there. There you go.
I'm doing fantastic. I don't have no shades up to that window, man. I like that natural light.
It's all good.
This is where I come at to get my natural light in my house.
Okay. So, Renny, I've been knowing you, wow, I guess it's been about 15 years or so now. And
20 years, Mr. Glover.
20 years. Be More News, we got a 5-point agenda: black business, public education, serving those who were formerly incarcerated, return affordable health care, universal access to health care. And for the record, I think one of my favorite shows that we ever did was From the Fishbowl. Did you know that?
No.
We actually did 2 or 3 shows, thanks to Michael Preston, inside the fishbowl. And one of these brothers we see on the streets from time to time, Muslim cat, and he's been home ever since.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put something up to that window.
Okay. If you're just joining us, we got Mr. Renny Bass with us. Now, just for the sake of information, America has 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of those incarcerated. America, 5% of the world's population, but every 1 in 4 persons behind the walls is in America. Now, black people make up 15% of the American population. 15%. Black men alone make up 38% of those behind the walls. So what are we doing today, Brother Renny? I thought normally you either a chef or you're a cook or you building something. What are we doing today, Renny?
Well, I'm very impressed with what's going on today. You know, normally I come on and try to promote things that I'm doing myself. But today I'm very impressed with these young men, man. That's they took us, you know, as you talk about the incarceration, they went through their time doing whatever they did, you know. But it's not what they did, it's what they did since they've been incarcerated. This behind the wall mentoring project that my man Shawn Gardner have implemented, man, is a serious thing, man. And I think people ought to realize what's happening. Because he started mentoring guys behind the wall. And then came home. These guys came home, and now they're mentoring guys on the street. I think that is the key to stopping recidivism.
Recidivism, 70% recidivism. Tell you another 70%, single mothers. That 70% is real big, unfortunately, in our community. 70% single mother household, 70% recidivism. And so today's show is designed to help reverse that trend, correct? You still there, Renny?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So we're going to start bringing up our guests.
Yes, sir.
All right, we start with Jihad.
Yeah, Jihad Gardner.
How are you today, sir? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ramadan Kareem to all the brothers and sisters.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Yes, sir.
Ramadan Mubarak.
My name is Jihad Gardner.
I think you see something we have in common here too. I think you're a very perceptive young man, so I think you see something that we have in common besides our glasses and bald heads.
Okay. I was looking at the glasses. Kyoba. Keep it 100 Black Men's Association.
Absolutely.
No, not the 100 Black Men Association. Just Kyoba. Kyoba's strong.
Kyoba's strong.
Two separate entities.
Okay, Renny, you just put your Superman cape on. Okay, tell me about it. What's going on, Jihad?
I am the brother of the founder of Behind the Walls mentor, Shawn Gardner, author Shawn Gardner. Since his incarceration, he has been diligently trying to change his perception as well as other people's perception of incarceration. He has also written several books to assist with the youth in society, to show them it's a different way instead of the criminal activities that we see on TV and that we see in the streets. You know, trying to show the youth that it's a better way to obtain goals than through the streets. My brother has been very active in sharing his knowledge with other inside as well as outside of the prison system. He's also been awarded the Presidential Award because of his determination to help others. Since his incarceration, he has assisted with allowing other brothers that was in there with him to come in the streets and continue that hard work of changing the viewpoints and giving youth a drive to succeed. I'm a big fan. Not only is he my brother, but he's also a mentor to me because of everything he's doing. Because of his incarceration, he hasn't allowed that to stagnate him at any moment. Upon calling, he puts smiles on other people's faces. So we want to just continue that from a perspective of showing more than just the individuals around us, of the determination and hard work that he's doing.
Okay. So, Renny, I got a lot of people on here. We're going to start loading them up in here, all right?
Okay, sound good.
Down my player, welcome to the show. Unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
How the brothers, man?
Outstanding.
So just
so y'all got
contact the brothers at work, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all got bad with me, so I work in the school system, so I'm running around pushing my kids into class right now. But yeah, how the brothers?
Outstanding, sir. Thank you for joining us. We
Yes,
also got
sir.
Brother Marco. Welcome to the show, Brother Marco.
Top of the morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Outstanding.
Yeah, appreciate y'all right.
Brother Jody, how you doing?
Excellent. How you guys doing today?
Excellent, sir. We got T. Lee in the house. T. Lee, welcome.
Hello, guys.
Morning.
Good morning to you. And we got T. Then we got Tyler. We got brother Antonio. You got J Money, and you got Kim Bryant. There you go, Renny. Let's do this.
Okay, let's
So
start
who
with
wants to
Brother
be
Marco
first?
because I know Marco is at work and he's got a short period of time. Huh?
Okay, Marco, it's on you.
I ain't hear you.
Welcome to the show, big brother.
I
Yeah, we'll
appreciate
start
you
with Brother
for
Marco
allowing me to be on.
because he got a short period of time, so we get it.
You got the floor, Marco. What you want to share with us?
Well, how y'all doing? All right, I'm Marco Lomax. I'm a beyond the wall mentor now because I'm out here on the streets. But I began being a behind the wall mentor due to my good friend Gardner, who originated it. And he really inspired me to accomplish some of the things that I did while I was inside, and I'm carrying it over out here. So while we was in there, we was speaking to the youth over the phone, doing certain events and so forth, as well as mentoring the guys behind the wall. So as they mentioned, his brother, that he an author too. So like I said, he inspired me to write my first book, Finding What's Missing, which was published while I was behind the wall. And my book basically is speaking on my life experience, but I'm giving the reader to have a different perspective on their life, to change their way of thinking. And a couple weeks ago, I just published a workbook. I took my first book and turned it into a workbook. Each chapter, I made a lesson out of it, and the questions is for the individuals to dig deep within themselves to find some of those things that they may have not dealt with, starting from childhood, to try to open up, what made them make certain decisions growing up, or why they may act or think the way that they do. And it's really all about perspective. So while I'm out here, I've been out here for 7 months now, and I'm currently still doing the same thing, trying to encourage young men and women, to change their perspective, to learn from my mistakes, to not repeat them, and those that's older than me, to try to get themselves together as well.
Marco, black women are the fastest growing demographic in prison. Black women.
Yes, sir.
So Marco, what's your advice to the young people, 17, 20, 23, standing on the corner of Pennsylvania and Lawrence all day, selling bags of weed or what have you? What's your advice?
My advice would be to listen to those that's around them, that they see that's doing something different. You got brothers like myself that come out here to try to tell them because of our experience, because we know what it's like behind that wall. And so to try to pay attention to the guys that's coming out, or the women that may try to get to them, to give them a different perspective on life, because at the end of the day, man, it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? So that's what they really got to ask themselves, is it worth it? So I just tell them to wake up and try something different. Because what I told myself, if I put the same energy that I did in the streets into something positive, I know I can still make it. And the outcome of being in the streets, death or prison.
So Marco, one of the things you alluded to, one of the things you referenced was, I think, trauma, childhood trauma, things we get exposed to at a young age, be it drugs, be it crime, be it sex, be it the streets. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Yeah, one of the chapters in my book. Because at my job, I deal with recovering addicts as well. But one of the chapters in my book is titled "Criminal Addiction," a criminal addict. But how I break it down to them and there, because you have various types of addictions. and it comes from trauma and those things as such. But I use my life as, you know, I had a criminal addictive behavior growing up.
Hey Marco, every time I went up in that hole at 3 o'clock to buy some of that Ready Rock, somebody was up in there selling it. And I
Right.
said to myself, they just as addicted as me.
Ain't no question. So when you come to realize that certain behaviors that you got is addictive behavior, and it's not just taking drugs, drinking alcohol. You could be addicted to women. You could be addicted to problems. You know, so just try to have the mindset to focus on the behaviors that you are doing, and try to readjust them when you see that it's not propelling you to move forward and make progress in a productive way, I would say. So that's really what I'm out here doing. And I started in there. I'm continuing to do that out here. And due to all that I was doing, you know, Sunday I'm actually receiving a Presidential Honor Award, a volunteer award, Sunday myself, for all the things that I have done since I was in, as well as my current status out here.
To God be the glory. Brother Delmont Player, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm great. Alhamdulillah. I ain't really got no complaints. I ain't complaining. My brother Andy Muhammad always tell me that, you know, a bad day out here is better than 100 good days behind the wire. So I'm great.
Brother Delmont, I'm gonna need you to meet me at North and 83, because there used to be a time I come to that corner, I could get a bean pie, get
Yes,
some
sir. Yes, sir.
pie. Now
Yes,
I get up to that intersection, man. I got cats coming up to my car saying, you know, and I'm like, you ain't even from my neighborhood, pimp.
Yes,
What's going
sir.
on?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the brothers, we be real active. We be moving out real good. So first, I like to, you know, salute my captain, brother Captain Andrew, Moss number 6, and you know, the teachers, most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Lord Farrakhan, for my life-giving, for these life-giving, life-saving teachings. I gotta salute my brother Goo. I mean, like, so one of the biggest things I commend Goo with was when nobody would give me a chance to be a mentor, because I was still, you know, I climbed from so far from being steeped in ignorance. He gave me a shot to say, bro, I want you to be a part of this, because he recognized the influence, and I just took it and ran with it. So he always kept me aboard with behind the wall mentors. And of course, he let me be beyond the wall mentors. I came out here, I hit the ground running. We Our Us, Hood to Hood, Baltimore Brothers. I did Youth Challenge, I did AVP. Some of my little brothers on here, men's rap. And you know, I'm just honored, first of all, to be on the show. I'm honored to be in a group of men that I'm with. And again, like Brother Marco said, I too will be receiving one of those awards this week for the work that I started behind the wall and continue to do out here on this terrain. So thank you for having me, brother. Now, whatever you got, I'm gonna answer.
I want you to tell him who Brother Andrew Knox Muhammad is, for those who do not know.
Oh, so Brother Andrew Knox Muhammad is our brother, our captain, leader. He's a leader of men. He leads Mosque number 6 under our student imam, Brother Abdul Salam, another one of my big brothers. He's a man amongst men. We in the trenches, we boots on the ground because of him. And he's a man that I'm honored to follow. He's a man that I'm honored to serve, you know, at the behest and under the teachers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know, at the direction of the honorable Minister Farrakhan. And in a nutshell, he's somebody that this city needs and respects, and he's the example that he brings, and the guys and the men that stands with him and stands beside him, behind him, in front of him, are exactly what he's helped raising them and mentoring them to be. He's also one of my biggest mentors out here.
And he's a man of his word. If he tell you he's gonna do something,
absolutely. His word is bond, and he would give his life before he sacrificed his word. I can assure you of that.
Give thanks for Captain Andrews, man. Not only is he doing his thing, but he's a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine, and I love what he's doing for him, man. For what these brothers are doing. I'm so proud of him.
Brother Jody, welcome to the show. How you doing? Thank you for being patient.
Excellent. I'm doing fine, and appreciate the invite.
What's your take on this, Jody? What's happening in our community, man? How do we get back on track? We got 70% of our households don't have a daddy inside.
Well, I think we get back on track by letting the youth know that it's okay to do the right thing. We have to make doing the right thing cool, because
Yes, sir.
we became complacent with the wrong thing being cool, cutting class, sleeping with as many women as you possibly can. We, how many girls can you get? And so that's what the youth is focused on. And, you know, and then without the fathers being in the household, I know me myself, I've always thrived when I had a strong male presence in my life as a youth. And when I didn't, I was led astray. So it because a man can provide discipline, and discipline leads to the following a routine. And so when we don't have that discipline in the house, then you get youth outside 2 o'clock in the morning, and they don't go to school. So you know and you see the girls, they're just falling right into this trend, which leads to what you were talking about when you were saying that the largest increase in the prison population being black females. This comes from them and gay. At one time, our sisters were the ones that was doing good in school. When we was acting fools as youth during our time, the girls was looking at us like we was fools, and they would be in school doing their work. And if you was too out of control, they wouldn't even look at you and talk to you. So, we just need to get our the message. We just need to get the message across that it's okay to do the right thing, and you won't be lame.
You speak volumes there. Tyler, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. What's the word?
Well, I want to start by saying thank you to Delmont. That was my mentor while behind the wall. I took what I learned from him and I brought it to the street. And being young, for y'all that don't know, I'm 23. So being young, the ones around me my age that's going the wrong way, I just basically try to show them what Delmont taught me and show them the right way. Don't just tell them. Show them that we can do it. Instead of
But
just preaching it, I actually put it into action. Show them it's a different way of life.
Tyler, my daughter's 24. I'm almost 60. In a blink of an eye, you're gonna be 50.
He lied.
In a blink of an eye, you be like, damn, I'm the elder.
Yes.
Stop that.
We got other people on the show. Please, if we haven't called your name, it's because your camera isn't on. So J Money, T Lee, if we haven't called your name, please step up and say something. Nene. Okay, Renny, this is what we got on camera. You take it from here.
So, I mean, as you listen to these young men, man, and you hear, as they speak so profoundly and so professionally, I just love it, man. I love the fact, and I think the source, when you look at the source, it go back to Shawn Gardner. It go back to Shawn Gardner because he had a vision. He had a vision of this right now, what we seeing, what we hearing. He had a vision of this, and he implemented work. As y'all brothers know, y'all was with him. He worked hard and diligently to make this happen, and look at it now. I mean, Delmar, Marco, Tyler, and Joey, man, listen to these brothers, man. I couldn't be more proud of them brothers, man. And probably what they don't know is I'm a returning citizen as well. I returned back to the community about almost 40 years ago, but I'm a returning citizen. I understand what it is, that transformation to come home and to try to stay home. It's one thing to come home, but to come home and stay home is definitely a challenge. And I commend these young men, man, and I am so proud of them. I can't say that enough, how proud of these young men I am, man, to see what they're doing. And again, I have to give a big shout out to Shawn Gardner and to Captain Andrew as well, and the team that he's leading and what he's doing as well. There's a lot of people in Baltimore that's doing a lot of great things, man, and I think this is like highlighting what they're doing. It give other people opportunity to see these fellas. They see them in the street and might just walk by them. But now they know that these brothers are not only in it for the change for themselves. They in for the change for their community, and that's a beautiful thing, man. Give
Brother
thanks to
Delmon, tell them
love.
about we, our, us. Tell them about Dr. Andre Bunley.
Oh,
And
Doc,
Mr. Gardner.
anybody know Dr. Bundy, they know
Jahar, you
he
Yes, sir.
he said at the school door wouldn't even let you in if your uniform wasn't right. You know, he's an amazing man. I enjoy working with Dr. Bundy. We Are Us is an organization that we in the streets, food giveaways, we in the community. We boots on the ground, as my brother Anthony Muhammad will always say. We engage in the people, we engage in the youth, we engage in the community. And for me, like I said, you know, going back to Shawn, like, and even with my little brother Jody, my little brother Tyler, brothers that I mentor with, and iron sharpens iron, you know, of course they sharpen my skills too. And so I take what I learned behind the wall and I bring it to these different organizations, and I use those skill sets that I was taught and that was taught to me and that I learned and I gathered over the years, and I use the reputation. Because I used to be at one time one of the most ignorant guys there was behind the wall. So I take that and I use that reputation and I come to them just as bad as I was when I was in the dunya, meaning the mud, is just as good as I am when I'm in the deen, meaning the higher self. So with We Our Us, I take that and I go into places and I use those skills, those networking skills, to be able to constantly push forward. I work with national organizations like ICANN. I see my sister Nene Capri, who's an author, producer, everything. I'm in the process because I do too write books, and I'm in the process of trying to turn them into movies. So I work with people across the board. I do as much as I can, but my biggest thing is I always learned this: that the cruelest lie is the one told in silence.
Powerful this is. They
So,
try to shut it.
so,
It
so I
can't be
take,
stopped.
yeah. So I take
This
it.
power can't be stopped.
And I coined a word called gamercide when I was locked up. And anything that has side in it is like homicide, infanticide. It's the intentional killing of. So gamercide is the intentional killing of the game because we have a false narrative of what this game is worth. And I taught the young men, I work in the school system. I taught the young men and young women every day about the false narratives about this game that the game and gangs and stuff that we so much love and give our life to, and it affords us absolutely nothing. You know, so I take that, I push it to the streets, to the older guys, to the younger guys, to the younger brothers, the older sisters, anybody that I can get to. And the biggest thing is, I'm the example that I bring. Like, if I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I came from, and I watched my little brothers. That's the biggest joy for me, to see the young men that I poured into, the same stuff that somebody poured into me, to see Tyler out here, Gray have his, you know, his first baby and doing his thing and working and being constructive and being and producing, because you know a tree by the fruit it bears. And that's what I'm taught. So with that being said, I won't take up too much time, but yes, man, salute to everybody. Everybody gave me a chance. Second chances do matter when people are sincere. And I've been out here over a year, man, and I ain't even hit I'm playing with them out here. I'm just getting started.
Marco, why give back?
Oh man, cause giving to you, man. Just because I'm able to be here to do it, that's like the most important thing you can do, is try to get to help somebody else out. I think that's what life is really all about, for real. And you can use your experiences to change somebody else's life. You don't know how many it may be that you might affect. So that's how I look at it. So I just give what was been given to me. Because if I hold on to it, then I consider myself being selfish. So I just try to be selfless, continue to grow, and help the next man or woman grow, to be the best version of yourself. One of my sayings that I always try to tell people is be excellent on your level. You know, no matter where you at, just be excellent on your level, and you'll reach another level by being excellent on the level that you stand at right now. But yeah, I salute all the men and women that's on here. I gotta stand out to go into this meeting. Appreciate the invite, and everybody have a blessed and joyful day.
Thank you for joining us, Marco. Nene, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate
How
you,
are
Marco.
you? Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I have the honor and privilege to work with Delmon. As he said, we are getting ready to roll into production of his film. I am an author, producer, New York Times bestseller. I help to develop scripts, and I also reach back into the prison system, have helped publish um, uh, hundreds of authors, help them to get published from behind the wall so that they can make money to take care of their families from behind the wall. Outside of myself being author, producer, whatever it is I do in that space, I'm also the daughter of a man that did over 21 years in prison, right? His number is 58755. You know how far back that goes.
Yeah.
That was responsible for the Lifers group getting those things started in the prison, as well as the Scared Straight program. He was one of the main mentors in the 70s. And he poured that same thing into me. I always say I'm a daddy's girl from behind the wall. So I don't take any type of excuses from a man that says he can't take care of his child, because that man took care of me, raised me, and got me to where I am today from behind the prison wall in the belly of a beast. So I respect that. So you understand what I'm saying? He was able to come home after that bid, and we joined forces together under nonprofits going back into the prison systems, and we graduated hundreds of men and women from our program to getting them back onto the streets. So we are honored to do that work. You know, I love and respect our brothers who are able to weather that storm. You know, they put my dad in the room building Trenton. You know what that is. You know, they didn't expect him to make it out. That's where they doing needles and electric shock, you know, the people. They didn't expect those black men to make it out, those revolutionary brothers that went in the 70s. So they came out and they are doing good work. I'm a product of that work. I will not stop that work at prison reform, readjustment, and deterrence, you know, so that our young brothers don't have to go behind the wall. The saddest moment to me when I went into teaching the prisons was teaching, and I was doing my class and everything, and afterwards they coming up to me, talking to me, and I kept looking at this young man while I'm teaching the class, and he's sucking his thumb. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk to him, you know, after that. I was like, ooh, that's so unsanitary. I was like, sucking your thumb in jail? I'm saying to myself while I'm giving my speech. So as they talking to me, they realize I'm Nini Capriti. Like, I read your books. They've been through the prison systems. Whoop de whoop, we talking. And the young man says who he is, and he was like, "Yeah, man." And then you had Zoom in there. He was from the Prince Street Projects in North New Jersey, and I was like, "Yeah, we ran together." He was like, "I'm his son," and my heart just hit like in the bottom of my stomach to know that I got out of the game and I was able to fix my life. And 20, 30 years ago, I ran with your father and he did time. And now I'm sitting here talking to his son and he's doing time. I started to really see that generational thing, and it hurts. You know, it hurts. And it hurts to see a lot of young brothers and sisters take heroism into their heart for the prison system, and then they take that same footstep. You know, you got grandfathers, fathers, and sons, you know, in the prisons, mothers and daughters and granddaughters now in prison together.
Taking Mother's Day pictures, taking Father's Day pictures.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the thing that hurts me the most. So, you know, I'm here. I'm here to do the work. You know, at any junction that we can get involved, we will, you know, and we thank you, brothers, and we're honored and blessed, you know, for any brothers that have come from behind that wall and can stand in this society, because the PTSD that you receive from behind that wall is insurmountable. And I salute brothers that can come out with sanity, have children, you know, they make them barren, you know, can still come home and be able to make love to your wife. You got brothers coming home at 20 and 30 years old in impotence because of the food and the drink that are being served to them on a daily basis. You understand what I'm saying? Why would that even happen?
Dini, I see I'm gonna have to take my show back from you. You straight takeover artist. And really, as she was talking, I was thinking about the one time I went to Africa and I met Pete O'Neill. He was a Black Panther, and he's been in exile since the 60s.
Was priceless, though, Johnny. Information.
Oh yeah, it is priceless. But I guess what I'm getting to, Delmont, is that not everybody who is behind the walls of dealing with adjudication
Right.
is actually from, actually was breaking law. There's some people, like I said, Pete O'Neill, he's been living in exile since the 60s. He was a Black Panther, and he walked from Kansas City, Kansas, across the street to Kansas City, Missouri, and he had a weapon on him, but he's been living in Tanzania, East Africa, ever since. And I went there, and he's got a whole compound. He's definitely strapped. And his wife, Charlotte, she comes back and forth to the States. So what I'm getting to, Delmont, is the significance of us understanding how we have to stay connected. So what I want you to do, Delmont, who is Renny Bass?
Renny is a brother to all the brothers. And I want to say this before I go. You asked Marco, why do we got to give back? The first reason why we got to give back is because we took so much from our own community, right? So I do want to say that's one of the biggest reasons why we got to give back, because we took so much. So Renny is a brother that I hear a lot about. I just met. He's solid. Everything I ever heard about him, he's stand up. He's straightforward. He's a man of his word. So when he called on you, he's the type of brother that you should answer, because you know that it's a positive thing. And he's exactly what you said. He's some of the glue that keeps the community connected.
You got to answer the door, because he might be, you got to answer the phone, because otherwise he'd be knocking at your door.
Absolutely. Like he's gonna always show up, rain, sleet, hail, snow. So, and that's who he is. That's who I've learned who he is. That is who I'm learning who he continues to be. So just like I said, even to share a platform with him, in my eyes, is an honor. You know what I'm saying? To share a platform with you, to share a platform with your all this, and to share a platform with my young brothers, to see them doing what they doing. And like I said, knowing that it all started somewhere. See, I feel like a lot of times, even in my own teaching, people try to separate the fruit from the tree. So even myself, I think all the way back to, like I said, it took that one brother to see what I was doing at that time and afford me an opportunity that essentially helped change the trajectory of how I moved forward. And I gotta honestly say that was Shawn. He came, pulled me into the library one day, said, "Brother, I heard this, that," because we had never met. Unbeknownst that we were so interconnected, we didn't even know. And he pulled me and he sat me down and he said, "What are you planning on essentially doing with the rest of your life?" And I'm like, man, like I got life in prison. They telling me I'm dying in here, man. I'm not trying to hear that. And then he just said, he ran something down to me that made a lot of sense. And once he said that to me, it changed my outlook. And then he said, "Listen, I want you to be on this board of this program that I'm creating." And once he started explaining to me, and then all I seen was, like Nene was talking about, the history repeating itself. History, I done been on the tears with brothers, fathers, grandfathers, and the father and the son in the cell together. I done seen that. You know what I'm saying? I done seen these different things of how, which made me create my own program. You know what I'm saying? So I took that and moved forward with it. And I think that to be as transparent as I possibly can, I think Remy he's just an amazing individual, man. He a brother you want to know. He a brother you need to know, especially when you're doing the type of work that I'm engaged in. He a brother that's good to have on your hip, a good phone number to have. He's a good mentor too, bro. That's who he is from my perspective.
Brother Jihad, who is Brother Renny to you?
Well, from my point of view, he got many faces with me. I was incarcerated for 16 months. Upon me coming home, my little brother went in. So for me first coming home, I had a lot of animosity because I couldn't get out here fast enough to prevent my brother from going in there. So once my perception changed as far as how I viewed, because upon me coming home, I had a lot of anger because of things that I allowed myself to miss. Anger because people that should have been there wasn't there. So once I got around Renny and started absorbing like all of the positive things, like I've been a member of Kaoba. I also been a brother to Renny in many facets, from business deals, construction, just trying to change our perception in the community. I also was a member of Catherine Charity, trying to connect with the parents and kids in that light. Like everybody is saying in the aspects of Renny, he's your inspiration, he's your aspiration, he's your mentor, he can be your brother, he can be your father.
I want him to cook some of that chicken fricassee, man. You never
Oh yeah,
taste this
as well
food,
as a
man.
chef.
And a chef.
And
And
a
a
chef.
chef. Yeah, I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need something to break fast with.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
Oh man, I
inshallah.
got you. Hey, Delmar, you gotta get with me, man. Hey, Donnie,
Yes,
what you
sir.
think?
Man, I done tasted the food.
What you think?
Tania, welcome to the show. How you doing? Unmute yourself.
Good morning. How are you? How are you all?
What's the word today, Tania?
So the word is, so Shawn and I, our mothers, his mother's my aunt is his mother. So we grew up as kids together. And I'm his younger cousin. But when I say I have watched him just grow so much, it broke my heart losing my cousin to the streets at such a young age. Yes, I do have the privilege to still be able to talk to him, still see him, but just him not being around. But he's been such an inspiration throughout these years. I'm actually raising a young man myself right now. My son is actually 23. Since my son, I want to say since he's been 13, whether he's calling to check in on him, whether he's just giving me parenting advice, to there, what he's not going to do is be where I'm at. Just exposing me to different things. Being young in the street, it's hard. I wasn't doing it for myself, but I really do believe in the village, and he's been a part of my village even from afar. I watched him just grow. That I'm like, Goo can call. Shawn can call me. I'm calling him Goo. That's how dated we are.
Right.
But he's actually he can actually call me, and I'm having a bad day that I'm not knowing how to deal with this teen, and he's actually talking to me and giving me the perspective of a young teenager, because I'm not a man. I'm a female, and I'm clearly aware of it. I know that I can't do this alone, but it's been those inspirations. Even now to my son, he's picking up now. My son, he started going the wrong way, but to God be the glory, he's actually on the right track now. He's working. Shawn was just on the phone with my son just past Sunday, talking to him about his books. He said, "What is he doing, Ma?" Because right now, I'm actually studying for a dual degree. So I said, I do PRP. I'm actually studying to be a therapist. Whereas that's what he's doing. He's mentoring. So he actually giving me stuff that I could use with my people that I encounter on the streets of Baltimore every day. Just total inspiration. Even when my son was on the phone with him, and he said, Ma, you told me he was smart. I said, yeah, he not letting the time do him, Jalen. He actually doing things to better himself. He said, well, I pray that everything just works out, that they free him, because he really can make a difference in these streets. Well, he's been telling me about, the guys that have actually benefited from it. Like, he's just a true inspiration, like, really. A breath of fresh air whenever I'm answering. I could be having a worst day that I'm like, wait a minute, let me pick up and talk to him. I need a lesson from him. And, typically it's the thing that, oh, what can they teach you? But as you all know, some of our most smart men have made mistakes, and they actually have been behind bars, but can come home and make a world win a difference. So,
Jody.
Salute
Jody,
to
tell
you,
me
sister.
about childhood trauma. The things we go through, the things we think we know. I learned some things in the streets of West Baltimore that were not true. They were straight up lies.
Yeah, so when we in our youth, I think some of the biggest trauma we go through comes from the people we surround ourselves with. And a lot of times when we think about childhood trauma, we think about, I don't want to say typical, but we think about the typical forms of abuse, for lack of a better word, and that may be, sexual assault or, physical abuse. But one of the biggest things that I think we ignore and that causes childhood trauma is mental abuse. And that mental abuse is the abuse that Player was talking about, which is learning the street culture, the street culture has like a cancer permeated its way through our community, and it has destroyed minds. It has taken what was evidently self-destructive, and it has made that what you should strive for. And so that's a hard mindset to break. And I remember when Shawn Gardner was first beginning his journey into this vision right here, the vision that he had for this. And me and him were walking the yard together. And at the time, my mind was still poisoned from, the mental abuse of, like Player was talking about, the game that was implanted in me when I was in my youth. And so when he was speaking about this, I listened because he was a friend, and I let him vent what his vision was, but I had no clue that he would be able to bring it to fruition this way. But over time, Player has always been my mentor since I was since I was young. So, when Player was still in the mud and I was still in the mud, the one thing that he always did was say, we gonna walk as men. So we had a seed that could grow through the mud, but we still were living the game. So we tried to live the game with the right principles, but the wrong mindset. We were living the game. You don't rat, you don't snitch. You know what I mean? All the rules that go into the game. When we was doing it with integrity, principle, honor, loyalty, respect, those were the things that we were taught. And they not wrong principles, but what you talked about, which was the childhood trauma, the mental abuse, the implanting of the game, taught us to live those principles: loyalty, honor, respect, integrity. We applied them into the wrong things. And as we got older, one day Player came to me, he like, this what we doing, little bro. And I'm like, bro, what you doing? Like, you get up, I'm in the cell, and he get up 5 in the morning, he clacking on his typewriter. And I began to see these things around the men that I walked with in youth, from Shawn Gardner to Player. I began to see them doing productive and positive things. And then I started taking notice. These men I respect. These men that have lived the game, and they have a reputation in the game. And these not no off-brand guys. These guys are going in a positive direction, and they've lived the game, and they've walked the game into, to a point that they have an edge to them that even officers respect who these guys is, but yet they're stepping out of the box and they're going in this direction. And that's where, that question you say come into play, because as they stepped out the box, I saying, okay, it might be okay to do the right thing. When you see men like that stepping away doing the right thing, you start to say, if they can do it, I can do it.
Does anybody on this
Bring
call
tears to my eyes, man.
can anybody on this call speak to the power of prayer?
And they say that prayer, okay, yeah, they say the prayer is more important than sleep, and we all know how important sleep is. You ever watch a baby fight sleep, and sleep always grab you? And man, I thank you, Jody. Thank you. That joint almost brought tears to my eyes. And I do want to salute the sister, because women more often than not, they bear the burdens of our bad decisions, right? And I call them black diamonds, which is actually, I have a fashion show coming up, was based off with Bomb City. But power of prayer.
Bomb City owe me a fashion show, man. Tell JT he'll be more news to fashion show. We ain't forgot
I'm
him.
gonna tell JT and T Leader, they owe you that bump, because we know we got a fashion show. You might be in it on May the 9th. I'm with the Black Diamonds, which is based off, I call women black diamonds because they so strong, and the black diamond can cut through steel. But prayer is so powerful that they say it's more important than sleep. Allah, God tells you to get up out of your sleep, break your sleep, and to go off of prayer. And you know how you feel when you in that bed 3, 4 in the morning, and it's so cold outside, and you found that warm spot, and it's so comfortable. But for you to have to get up to fight through all that, to get up, it tells you how important the thing is. And at one time, I remember asking my brother Warren Muhammad, who's he's still in North Branch, another one of my mentors. So he's a brother student. He's a student. He's a student, a minister on that location. So I remember asking him one time about prayer, and I went to him and I said, brother, like the prayer, like what's the prayer really for? And he said, it's said in the Holy Quran that God wouldn't even care for you but for your prayers. He said, brother, you pray because that is how you tell Allah what it is that you need. The Christians say prayer without works. He said, then you get up and you go to work. He said, you pray and then you work. You don't pray and don't work, because then those things don't come into fruition. But the prayer is the beginning of a thing. Prayer is the seed, so to speak, that you plant before you go to work, doing the watering and so on and so forth. That's how important prayer is to me. Prayer is the start of my day and the end of my night. Prayer is everything, because without prayer, man, without the prayers of my mother, the prayers of my grandmother Wilhelmina, God bless her soul, without those, the prayers of my Aunt Priscilla, prayers of my Aunt Barbara, without those prayers of my cousin Missy, like without those prayers, I'm telling you, man, I heard I heard the brother Rick Ross say it, and it's sad, but it's true. He said the pray get prayed on, and guys who was bad get prayed for. And I'm telling you that those prayers is what essentially saved my life, because God had to know that we can survive the things that we survive in some of the prison systems and prison yards and prison dorms and prison cells that we've been in. Ain't nothing save me. I can't speak right. Ain't nothing save me but praying. And it wasn't even my prayer at those times, but it's my prayer today.
We living off of the prayers of our grandparents. Hey, brother Delmont, I want to also add in one of the beautiful things that I see in us is you got Muslims and Christians,
Jews,
all
science, Pan-African, former gang members. Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. White, black, Hispanic, like everything.
Because we can allow, you know how it is, cat growing up in church, oh, you can't talk to the Muslims. You can't talk to Mohammed. A real misunderstanding. I think it was the movie Amistad, which showed Muslims on what was considered a slave ship, because America will twist your thinking if we allow it and cause us to not know our history, like the fact that we did not first come to America in the bottom of a slave ship. We've been here for thousands of years. Anyway, Tyler.
Yes, sir.
Do you pray?
I can't say all the time.
When do you pray, Tyler?
I would say before a meal. I would like to stop praying more before I rest my eyes at night and in the morning. But as of right now, I can't say that I do that.
Tyler, I was around my grandma's house every Monday at 4 o'clock. I'm watching Captain Chesapeake. You probably not old enough to know about Captain Chesapeake. Captain Chesapeake came on at 3 o'clock. And the praying man will come every Monday at 4 o'clock. That means I got 1 hour of Captain Chesapeake. Because once the praying man get there, he gonna pray till my dad come to get me. That's like an hour and a half. But here to hit, it wasn't for show. One day I went over to praying man house looking for his grandson, and guess what the praying man was doing? He was at the side of his bed praying. And that's when I knew as a little kid that prayer works. Tania, what do you think? Got these brothers on here talking about life-changing transformation led by Renny Bass with the chicken fricassee on the slide.
So, being an angry little girl growing up in West Baltimore, my grandmother used to say, Sandy, you mad? She called me Sandy. And you so angry. I said, what? She said, what you mad about? And I would tell her, and she said, you got to pray for those people. I'm like, you always talk about praying for somebody. And guess what? She was right. She was right in everything. As I started going through different trials and tribulations, I really started praying. And Tyler, I do want to say you don't even have to wait till the end of the night. You can pray anytime.
Yes,
When I
ma'am.
started realizing that, like, no, anytime. It be little stuff we going through that if you can't cast your fears upon the higher being or whatever you respect, and do it, because it really does work. Things that you really don't think can come to pass will come to pass, and you just crying out because
Hold up, Tania. Hold up, Tania. I gotta pray for Donald Trump too.
yes, you do have to pray for him. You gotta
What?
pray for him. Listen, you
I'm
gotta
telling
pray for him.
I'm telling you, people pray more than they realize. Anytime you think
Yeah,
about God or mumble the word God or Lord Jehovah, whatever you want to, whatever you choose to call, you're really saying a prayer. So
absolutely.
anytime you pause to think about, a lot of times for us in our conditions and our growing up, we really only prayed when things were going bad,
Right.
right? Like, as soon as you mad, God, you get me out this one, boy. I'm telling you. Like,
I
so
will never do this
yeah,
again.
you got right. So, and then we commence to go and we forget about those prayers. We forget about that agreement. We forget
Mm-hmm.
about that contract with God. And then we wonder 5 months down the line how we end up in a box, in a box, in a cell. And then we wonder, like, we forgot about, we said, if you got us out of this, we wasn't going. And then we thinking it's the moves we made. But no, really, it's you broke that oath. You know what I mean? You broke your word. You broke that promise and that contract with God or law. So I think a lot of times we pray more often than not. Tyler, I watch, to see him here sitting how he's sitting is amazing to me. Like, to watch, like, so we had youth challenge, right? And we used to coordinate with men behind the walls. I'm coordinating with Shawn back and forth from Hagerstown to make sure it was okay for me to implement some of the teachings that he had given me from behind the wall mentor to poured into youth challenge. So me, my brother Mawad, my brother Adi, my brother James, we working with Tyler, and then to see him and watch him grow to where he's at now. So one of the first things I want to do when I came home was sit down with the little brothers to see what they was doing when we got out here, because being in the school system, I see that the cruelest lies the one told inside it, because brothers just don't know. They think it's slick to really be hooked up in this game and wearing ski masks all day. They think that's really cool, but it's essentially not. So to see him doing what he's doing and being his positive influence, it really amazes me. And I'm always humbled. I'm always humbled when I see him moving forward. And it's just like wow, like you really get it, because a lot of more than not, your story told about you after you're gone. You never really get to see, like, a lot of guys that installed something in me, that planted a seed, that planted you, they never lived long enough because they either lost their mind behind a prison door and lockup or something like that. So they didn't live long enough, or they died. And so one of the biggest things, and I want to say this about a good friend of mine, he passed away. I often tell his story. So when the guy from Black Panther passed away, he passed away around the same time. The guy from Black Panther was 44, he was 48. He built one of the biggest organizations that exists that continues to destroy the community behind the prison wall, right? And he wished he could have got away from it. But nonetheless, when he died, he a legend. He go to any jail, they're gonna lay the carpet out for him. Oh, big homie in the jail, they're gonna do all this, that, and other. But when he died, his daughter, one of his children, had to reach back into the prison system to ask for cash app to help bury him, because nobody in the street cared. And that taught me something. I said, man, I don't want my legacy to be, when you die off in prison, man, Jordan used to go hard, man. He used to go for bad. You everything to the prison system and nobody to the world. So that's why it's an honor for me to come out here and promote Shawn Goo. And that's my, Goo Gardner. You know what I'm saying? To come out here and promote the stuff, the seeds that he implanted in me, to pass them on, because the information is not mine. It's mine to get and to pass on, so that my young brothers like Tyler can stand on my shoulders and go further than I did. So because a lot of times brothers like Shawn get lost in the system. His co-defendant, one of my right-hand men, one of my cell boys, another brother who poured into me what Goo poured into him. So I was fortunate to be in a cell with this brother. We like this. Whenever I because the lost self is always there. So whenever I'm fighting with myself here, bro, calm down. And he would pour back. He would pour into me again to remind me that those teachings, and it's still there, but you got to learn how to deal with it. So I feel like this is why it's so good for us to be able to speak about Shawn, because it's like guys like Shawn, are far and few in between, but they're even more or less recognized once brothers get out here. Brothers get out here and they forget about the men who poured into them to help make them as successful as they are, because the same thing that made me successful behind the prison wall when I changed my life is the same things that keep me successful out here. The discipline, the teachings, the walking what I taught, you know what I'm saying, to being the best example, you know what I'm saying, to knowing that mere belief count for nothing unless you're carrying it into practice, to always, you know what I'm saying, to always to not be good for nothing. So when I walk past and I see somebody that's down bad, I'm taught that that's good for nothing if you don't reach over to try to help that individual. So I never want to be good for nothing, even at the cost of my life, because the minister tell us all the time, don't even play with black people if you ain't ready to give your life. So I'm ready to give my life for one of these young men out here. I'm gonna stand between the bullet and the barrel for one of them because I love them and I want to see their success. Because they say a friend wants your approval, a mentor wants your success. So that's what I love about Shawn. He always push and he humble. Like when he see you excelling. See, a lot of men, when I was growing up, I surpassed them by default because the things they taught me, they didn't stand on. They said, don't snitch, and then they came in the courtroom. They said, don't do this, honor your friend, and then they went and tried to sleep with my girlfriend. They said, oh, you be real, and then they never answered a phone call. But see, for a mentor, he really wants your success. So here it is, bro, I have a platform, but I'm going to put you on it. And that's what I love about Shawn. Like he's that kind of guy. Like he's going to put you in front of him because he know that it's going to help continue what it is, his vision that he brought to birth back in the early 2000s. I'm just honored to be a part of it. And I'm going to always salute him. I'm going to always push him from the top. I say I appreciate everybody. I love everybody. I got to get back into school because the kids, you know, I'm headed on the mic. And I gotta push them brothers. I gotta push them brothers into these classrooms because, you know, they get a little crazy. You know, you gotta hold on to these little brothers.
Yeah, I gotta give you flowers before you go. Hey, listen, congratulations, Tyler, on the baby and your success.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. Brother Delmar, listening to you, man, it makes me feel good. I am excited to know that our future, our kids in our school system have somebody strong, serious, that they can go to. I wish we could clone you and put you in every school in America. I wish we could, you know, I wish every school in America.
I wish it was 100 of me, I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I can't even, I'm never lost for words, bro. I am never lost for words, but I'm telling you, man, you got me so excited, man. My heart is just, I'm excited about what you got going on, man, and I can't wait for us to keep building. We can make more soldiers, because we need it. You know what I'm saying? A big shout out to Dr. Bunley.
Yes, sir.
Shout out
to Dr. Bunley. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my big brother and mentor, and my captain, Andrew Muhammad. Shout out to my bosses. You know what I'm saying? They gave me an opportunity to work with these young men and women. But shout out to the connections. Shout out to my brother, Andy Muhammad, another one of my mentors, my brother Craig, my cousin Tanika, my cousin Missy, my cousin Yo-Yo, my brother. Shout out, salute to my mother. You hear me?
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, that woman there, man, I'm telling you, talk about, man, when it was nobody, it was her. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I salute the sister, because I'm telling you, man, women mean so much to us, and they our black diamonds, and they always bear the burdens of our bad mistakes and our bad decision making. So salute to all the women, you know what I'm saying, that answer a phone call, that write a letter, that answer a text message, that send a picture, that show up to a court date. I'm telling you, like, we could not do it and could not have done it without them. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the few brothers, because it's not a lot that hold it down like the jihads that actually there for their brother. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have a lot of that. When brothers go off, they just gone and it's out of sight, out of mind. Salute to the brothers that come home and continue to give back and answer calls and do what they can, man. Salute to you, Mr. Danny Glover, for allowing us this platform. And I mean, salute to all the kids. I love them to death. They get on my nerves sometimes, you know, but I love my kids. Salute to my team. I work with one of the best student support task teams, you know what I'm saying, in Baltimore City. Salute to Mr. Principal Brooks, Brother Elijah. I'm telling you, like, just, man, Miss Wilson, everybody, my brother Parks, my brother Green, team for life. And man, I appreciate y'all.
Big
man.
Shout out to the Peace Team.
And
big shout out to my man Eric Brown and the Peace Team.
Absolute. And
big
salute
shout
to
out
my
to
sister.
Joe Edison, EB with the Peace Team and the wonderful work that they're doing.
Good brothers over there. EB, Joe Edison.
Joe Addison,
No
big shout
struggle,
out to
no
them.
success. Jeanette Graham, yeah, there's a lot of good people out here doing work. We Hour Us, and the program that y'all running, my brother, that run the flower, that run the moving company, my brother Kermit, Tia.
Yeah.
And if any, listen, man, just thank y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all. Tyler, I love you, little bro.
Love you more.
I love you. I'm a babysitter too, just so y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Your man, I'm babysitting everything out here. I mean, my niece just had that, we got it. So I love y'all. Salute to my queen, man. My, you know what I'm saying? Salute to her, man. My sunshine, man. My beautiful sunflower,
okay,
man. I appreciate y'all.
I'm
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Peace and love, all right? Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
Walaikum assalam, rock, man. Okay, Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Brother Jihad, you've been very patient. What are your final thoughts? And before you go, Jihad, I want to know about forgiveness.
Forgiveness. I'm overwhelmed with everything that everybody said. Like I said, like this is like unbelievably wonderful. When we first had the dialogue about it, like I said, I talk to my brother every day. So like seeing all of this and hearing the people input from their perspective of how much he means to them, it's like it brings tears to my eyes because it's so wonderful that people is acknowledging everything that he doing, you know. So with that, I love prayer. You know, we just gotta instill that into the youth.
Prayer is your personal telephone call to God.
Exactly. That's a
stepping
stone
to God.
Exactly.
Tell me about forgiveness, Jihad.
Forgiveness. That's the like the groundwork of you improving yourself. Because a lot of times we blame so many people for our mistakes, our bad decision. You know what I'm saying? But you got to start with being able to understand.
Kind of went out there. Tanir, your
I'll
final
pick up on that, Donnie. I think that forgiveness is a personal journey within yourself. Because as you say, I'll be 60 soon, and I still work on forgiveness. Sometimes people rub me the wrong way, and it takes me a minute to give that forgiveness. So it's a lifetime work.
A minute? Sometimes it takes me years.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a lifetime work. Forgiveness is character building, and you build your character, second by second, minute by minute. So forgiveness is a part of your character.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you have great days in your character, and sometimes you don't. The thing is to understand where you at within yourself and know when you're having them bad days and good days.
So forgiveness is not a sign of weakness.
It's absolutely not. Actually, it's a sign of strength.
Yeah.
It's a sign of strength. It's easy to be angry and keep the same position. Somebody harmed you. That's easy. The hardest part to do is to reach out and say, okay, you did this, I did that, we did this. Let's forgive each other. Let's move forward. That takes more challenge. And to stay in your box and don't do nothing, that's easy.
Come on, Jihad.
Man, Renwick summed it up beautiful. You know.
Oh, he let it out there. I was wondering if somebody was going to say it.
You know I had to get her. You know I was going to get her.
Now I got to work on forgiveness. Donnie. After we fight today, then I'll forgive him.
That's the part of the forgiveness, brother.
Oh, my goodness.
I told you I let that brother
that don't sting like it used to 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Absolutely.
Tania, somebody prayed for me. They had me on their mind, took the time and prayed for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for me. What do you think, sister, of your brothers and your sisters behind the walls and the transformation that's possible from Malcolm Little to El Haj Malik El Shabazz, world leader? What do you think of your people? What do you think of the show?
I love it. I'm glad that when Jihad sent me the message last night, I said, even if I'm coming late, I'm coming. And I want to say it has been a privilege, because it has been a privilege to me. I never shied away from any of my family members that have went behind bars, because I feel like especially when they come back out here and they give me stories of inspiration. I just might have dodged the bullet that I didn't go behind bars. You know, so I'm grateful and thank to God be the glory for prayer that I didn't. But I will. and that's why he made me the female around so many men. I have like all boy cousins, like they a brother, like I'm surrounded by them. So I guess I was the dominant and rough that he said we're gonna make her that female that can be there to teach them also with forgiveness. Because I do think forgiveness is pivotal in the life that we live. Because when you don't forgive, you walk around with a lot of anger and animosity. It's tightness in your chest. And it is definitely a process, but I do think when you're able to forgive and move forward, you don't have to mess with that person, but you're able to just keep on going. And it be a long time. My grandmother lived to be 92. I'm looking to be, at least 102. She said, put that number out there. Ask for good health, good strength, good sound of mind. And that's how I'm speaking it. I do believe in power of the tongue. So
the power of life and death is in the tongue. We can speak
absolutely.
life or speak death.
Yes. And I do want to say the whole thing of the guys that come out here and actually speak the right thing. A lot of guys come out and I always look at them. I have no problem saying what I feel, but I may look at somebody like, you wasn't, but it's the ones that actually come out here and say, that's not a place that you want to be. They actually take the other side of the road to actually stand up. And that's one of the things that Shawn is doing not standing in with the pack, but standing outside of the pack, above the pack to lead the pack. It's hard to be that leader because everybody not going to always look at you and say, this is good. Oh, no, they might look at you and say, who you think you are? And a lot of people don't have the balls to say, I am who I am, So even you the platform that you brought to life, and I love it. So, forgiveness, yes, we need it in this world.
Renwick, you get the final word, big brother. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for always supporting my efforts in Black media. Can't do it without you.
Well, I say, as I tell you all the time, man, it's important. We all have stories, and you put out stories. You give out stories wings and give it life. Goose story would just be a story without the platform to put it out for people to hear it. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, you heard these young brothers on this show today, and I think anybody who heard them understand where they came from to where they at. And if you can't support that, man, it's something that you need to work on within yourself. That's something that's self work that you have to do on yourself. Because if you can't get behind these young brothers and see what they're doing and support what they're doing, there's something wrong with you. Because I mean, I love it. As I said, I'm a returning citizen for almost 38 years. And the things I do, Donnie. I don't go into it. I really stay humble, stay low. But I was able to accomplish a lot of things for the simple fact that people gave me an opportunity. So that's why I'm easy to give opportunities. People say, man, you give opportunity on a regular basis. People gave me opportunities on a regular basis. That's how I was able to get to where I'm at. So I feel good about the show, man. As always, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the platform. We need to have Donnie Glover on CNN. You know what I'm saying? Or CNN need to be on Donnie Glover's show. You know what I'm saying? We need to, the audience, the people, I meant to say this earlier. We have to support Black media. You can't just support it by watching it. You got to pay some money. We need to sponsor shows. The same way we go run and give Nike money, you give Gucci money, we give all these brands money. We need to give money to Black media because Black media tells our stories for us. Nobody else telling our story for us like Black media. So we need to get behind this platform, support it. You see the name going across the bottom, get your name down there as soon as possible. That comes from support. Even though we'll talk about this off air. I don't see my name down there, but we'll talk about that off air.
You need my cash app?
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever it take.
Renny, it's truly a pleasure. Tanir, Brother Jihad, thank you for your patience. Was it anything you want to say before we cut out, Jihad? You got to unmute yourself, though. You get the final word. You there? Oh,
I know it's frozen.
Okay, well, till next time. Up to day, down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper and sister's keeper. Good morning. Are you there? Jihad? Yeah.
I think you muted. Unmute yourself.
Nah. Yeah. Till next time. Tania, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being a sister to our brothers. And we
Peace and
pray
love,
the
my
best
brother.
for you.
Absolutely.
Good morning, world.